Today, I'm unpacking what as is really means in the California Residential Purchase Agreement and how to keep this often misinterpreted clause from derailing your transactions in escrow. Hi, everyone. I'm Joe Wogoman, California real estate broker and managing partner of Sinkley LLC. And this one small phrase, as is, can lead to a lot of big misunderstandings during a transaction. I'm going to walk you through some of the common misconceptions and clarify what the agreement intends so you can keep your deals on track. Now, I've represented sellers who believed as-is condition meant that the buyers wouldn't have any right to access or investigate the property beyond their initial showing prior to the offer. Basically, a take it or leave it deal. Others thought it meant that they could withhold disclosure of material facts or defects, like a magic phrase or contract hack that gave them a non-disclosure loophole. On the buyer side, I've represented clients who assumed signing the seller's as-is counter meant they were agreeing to accept the property's current condition without any chance to investigate, as if they were removing their inspection contingency with the offer. Other buyers think it means they can't even request repairs, and I've had transactions where the seller insisted on writing as-is condition into the counter, but then later agreed to the buyer's full repair request anyway. So let's take a closer look at what the agreement actually says to clear up these misunderstandings. In paragraph 25D, it's clear that while the property is sold as is, the seller still has to disclose known material facts or defects. Selling as is doesn't mean the seller can conceal what they know about the property. It just means they aren't obligated to make any repairs beyond those specified in the agreement. The buyer also has the right to access and inspect the property, and they can request repairs based on what they find. Whether the seller agrees to those repairs, however, is another story. Then we have paragraph 7B, which adds that the property should be delivered as is in its current condition as of the date of acceptance. Now, this means the seller is responsible for maintaining the property in its present condition until the close, and any personal property not included in the sale has to be removed prior to closing, or it's considered abandoned, and the buyer has the right to recover any costs they incurred to dispose of it. So now that we know the agreement's intent, here are the 6 conversation points to cover with your client when a seller lists a property as is, or includes it on a counteroffer. Here's what as is means in California real estate. Number 1, the seller still has to disclose all known material facts and defects. This also includes agents conducting a visual inspection, which is provided to the buyer. Number 2, buyers retain the right to access and inspect the property. Due diligence during the contingency period is always allowed. Number 3, buyers can request repairs based upon their findings. However, the seller can say no. Number 4, sometimes the buyer's lender may require repairs for health and safety items. Now, this can happen when items are called out in the appraisal, but just keep in mind the seller can say no. Number 5, the seller must maintain the entire property in its current condition until closing. So the property should be in substantially the same condition at close as when the buyer made their offer. And number 6, the seller isn't required to make repairs unless agreed to or required by law. And that includes items like smoke detectors, carbon monoxide detectors, and water heater bracing. So the bottom line is that properties are sold as is, provided that the buyer is made fully aware of the property's present condition. So the purchase is still subject to seller disclosure and buyer investigation. A lot of what's in the agreement is aimed at just making sure the buyer knows what they're buying before they've bought it, which is in everyone's best interests. Sellers who write in as is are merely restating language that's already in the contract, so it doesn't change anything. But we need to ask our clients what as is means to them when we see it, so we can provide guidance. And if they think as is changes the rules or limits certain rights, it's our duty to clear that up. To make it super easy for you, I've created a summary sheet of key points for your conversation with clients when this inevitably comes up in your transactions, so you can prevent any of these common misunderstandings from causing problems once you're in escrow. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. In my next video, I'll show you the easy way to bulletproof your agent's visual inspection disclosure so it doesn't come back to bite you after the close. See you next time.